Good day and greetings from the Great White North. My name is Prickly Poo and welcome to day 120 of a year of change. We've hit our one-third of the way through-ish mark. Almost sort of, really. 121 and a third would really, I guess, be probably the best one to do it, unless it's a leap year. And then it would be 122, so 121-ish. But we're going to do 120. It's a nice round number. So I don't really have anything special planned for this one. I kind of did, but we'll get to that in a second. Just a quick update. Yesterday I had planned on actually going over. I was going to go out and see some friends I hadn't seen in forever. And I did go over, but it didn't go crazy. So I feel good with that. A lot of it was just because I was out and didn't want to think about it, didn't really worry all too much about it, but didn't really eat anything. So it was mainly just drinking that would have, the high calories in that would have put me over. So I'm okay with it. Didn't make as much progress as I would have liked, but we'll get to that in a bit as well. It was interesting to sort of meet up with these people. I haven't seen some of them in like 3 or 4 years at least, and others it's been 7 or 8 since I've actually spoken to any of them. But it was nice to sort of, it's weird, you sort of go back in there and you think, I don't really know what we're going to talk about, if there's anything new, and it was the same as if, you know, we had seen each other last week. Just sort of catching up on stuff and getting back into old conversations and things like that. It was nice. As per usual, I'm not much of a social person, and in these social situations, there's always, and I'm sure some of you have felt the same way, there's always that feeling that even though we're doing what we're doing here, there is that feeling that you're going to see people that you haven't seen in a long time, and in their head they're going to go, God, he's put on a lot of weight. And I mean, I was this fat when I saw them last time. But there's always that feeling that, you know, someone's going to see it. They would never say anything, obviously. But it's just one of those feelings that you have, and you're waiting for it till about the first 10, 15 minutes. And then you think, okay, nothing's going to be said, which is a really weird thing to say. One of them had actually mentioned that they had noticed a difference, that I had lost weight, which is good. But again, haven't seen them in 6 years. So maybe they just remember me as being fatter than I am. So, I mean, I know that we've lost as we've progressed through the past 120 days with this, but it's a little different than, because I couldn't tell you what I weighed 10 years ago. Probably roughly the same, but to me, I always feel like I've just been constantly gaining until we started doing this. So I always feel that even now, I'm fatter than I was back then, which may not be true. I should probably go, if I even have any old clothes, and see if they fit. That's probably the best way to find out. It was really good to see them, though. Just sort of reconnecting with those people again, and I've gathered all their numbers because I never answer my phone. I have my mobile phone, but none of them have it, and I didn't have any of their numbers. So we got all the numbers together, so hopefully we'll get together again, and maybe host it on my end. But it was just really nice to sort of get out and not have to worry about, you know, anything, and just have fun for a while. So it turned out really well. Anyway, I figured I'll let you know that. Anyway, progress. This week, I dropped exactly 1 pound, which I thought I was actually going to do a bit more. It might be because of last night, because I do my weigh-ins on Sundays. So last night, maybe it's just all the residual stuff, but 1 pound is still good. It's still on target as to what we're trying to do. We're trying to lose roughly, you know, 1 or 2 pounds a week. Anywhere between half a pound and 2 pounds is really good. What I've been finding, though, is that to me, it's still, I'm just thinking, it's not quite where I want. I want it to be more. And even though in my head I know it shouldn't be. I should be doing this as slowly as I can. I don't really want to lose like 5 pounds a week. I want it to be nice and slow, 1 to 2 pounds, because that does show that it's a change and it's not we're not dieting. But part of me is just sort of getting to that point where I think, I kind of want to do more, and I'm really trying hard not to. Which is so weird because I'm so used to doing it the other way and going, I could take a cheat day here and there. But I think what I'm going to do is stay on my plan. And this week, I'm not going to really change anything other than, you know, my treadmill again. But I'm going to sort of cut back once more. I've been rounding down to the nearest 100 calories when I do my treadmill. If it says, burn 520 calories, then I'll cut down to the nearest 100. I actually think I've been doing 100 and then the next nearest 100. So it was like 825 calories, so I'll drop it down to 700 as how much I've burned. And so that's my new goal. So I think what I'll do is this week as well, I'll bring it back another 100 calories. I'm not using them anyway. I'm still staying below those every single time. So it's not that I'm, pulling back and saying, no, I need to now start doing this and all sorts of weird things, if that made any sense at all. But and again, I don't want to get to a stage where I'm dropping 4 and 5 pounds a week, although that would be great. My fear is that by doing that, I'm not going to maintain it, and then I'm going to slide back into it. 1 to 2 pounds a week means that I'm doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're taking it very slow, very steady, and we're making gradual changes so that those changes are going to stick. I guess another 8 months from now. Again, I did this bad math last time, didn't I? So anyway, yes. I think I just spit all over myself. I think that just trying to get to a point where I have said this before. It's better that we're going too slow and wanting to speed up than speeding up and then saying it's too fast, I want to slow down, and then because we're just going to get back into a bad spot. So I think what is probably best for me to do is to sort of stay on, the path that I'm on and go that way. I'll deal with the plateaus as they come. I'll deal with the gains. I'll deal with the losses and everything else because overall, it's been working. So we're going to stick with that. I've got a number of different things, so I'm looking at my cheat sheet again. Sorry. Oh, yes, that's right. The main thing I was going to do today, this was going to be sort of, not exactly a milestone thing, but a third of the way through, 120, nice round number. One of the YouTubers that we have up on our, in the playlist, Kay, Miss K all the way, in case you want to go take a look at her stuff. She had done what we've seen a lot of other people have done as well, that the 10 things you will not miss when you're no longer fat. And she tagged all of her subscribers. So, all at once. So, I get tagged in there with it. But the thing is, I've been trying. She did this last Saturday. And I had done my recording before. I posted everything before she did her recording. So, I sort of missed out on that. I would have done it that day. And then yesterday, I was going to do it again. But I thought, no, I'll sort of update and just sort of let people know. No, I'm not falling off the wagon. I'm preparing for it. So I was trying to do it today, and I've been going this entire week trying to figure out how to do it, and I'm so bad at it. Because it's trying to find out 10 things that you're not going to miss anymore about being fat. And there's a number of different reasons why I've decided it's not going to work for me to do it. So I am sorry, Kay. I apologize. I know I was tagged, but here's why. A number of different reasons. Number one, I'm doing a top 10 anyway. Number one, I tried doing 10 things I'm going to miss, and it just ballooned into a huge, huge list. So once I, well into the double digits, and I'm thinking I've got to narrow this down somehow, and tried to combine them so that, there are the things that way. And I thought, okay, this is probably best intention would be to do a top 10 list. The top 10 things I'm not going to miss anymore about being fat. So I tried to prioritize those, and then there are things I think, no, I really want to sort of bring that into it because this, and just trying to figure out what is going to be most important and what I'm definitely not going to miss. It's, again, in the double digits. Way too many topics. We'd be here forever. I'd be doing this for 2 or 3 hours going, now, number 57 of the things I won't miss. And then I didn't want to go too far the other way and say everything. I'm just not going to miss any of it. Because I've been dealing with it for so long that it's just sort of ingrained as part of my life. So it's weird trying to sort of pick and choose those things. Another reason why I'm not really doing it is that I could condense it into 3 things: physical, emotional, and psychological. Those are the 3 aspects I'm just not going to miss anymore. But really, that's what this vlog has been, right from day one. It's just all the little things that we aren't going to miss anymore, things that we've been dealing with, and it's sort of turned into every Monday, that's what we do now, is that just one of those topics that this is something we aren't going to miss when this is over and done with. Whether it's a health issue, whether it's something as simple as, just being too hot all the time or too sweaty, trying to deal with that. Whether it's a psychological thing, thinking, the paranoia that comes with it, saying, are people staring at me while I'm eating, in a restaurant or something. Or if it's an emotional aspect of it, where you're whether it's even just self-loathing or just knowing that there's that disdain that people look down on you for. Whatever. That didn't really make sense. You know what I mean? But they do sort of get broken up into those three aspects, and that's what we've been dealing with throughout the past 120 days. So I didn't just sort of want to revisit those because some of them were repeating, and again, just horrible at these things. The last reason why sort of tipped me over the edge of not doing it is when I was looking for the YouTuber that we're going to be adding this week on Tuesday. It's, again, a lot of people have done these lists, and she did a similar list. But before she had done that, she did the 10 things that she's going to be missing, that she will miss about being fat. And she just knocked it out of the park. With both her lists, there's no way that I'm going to be able to top it. So I'm going to put those up this Tuesday as well, and urge you to go take a look. And it's one of those things that you are going to have a few laughs. She's very open. She's very funny. And hopefully she'll sort of join in with our community as well. So when I saw that, I'm like, you know what? After all the stuff that I've been doing, and it just came out so effortlessly for her, I assume, there's really no reason for me to do this. So I do apologize to Kay and to all her other subscribers that are actually doing it. But that's pretty much what this vlog has been, are just things I'm not going to be missing. So that's part of the reason why I'm not doing this. I thought about as well, maybe of doing a separate series, like top 10 things that I'll miss about, or I won't miss about being fat, or top 10 things that annoy us about this, that, and the other thing, because you do see these tags all over the place. There was one that Josh and Mouse did when they were, I can't remember his, I know there's something else. I don't know why I want to say salmon. That doesn't make any sense at all. Anyway, the two of them, they did a couples tag. They've done one where, and a number of other people have done it as well. What are your non-scale goals, like the top 10 weight loss things and top 10 things you won't miss about being fat. I thought about doing sort of a separate little sideline that maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks I can do one of those. They will be fairly long. So if I narrow this top 10 thing down, maybe I'll do that. But let me know in the comments below if you think it's a good idea, or if you think no, just forget it. Just again, if I'm going to be doing those, I've got to start sort of looking at different ones, and inevitably they're going to start repeating, and it might turn out to be 2 videos, and then that's not much of a series at all. But this week, anyway, this is sort of getting too long. I couldn't think of a word. This week, again, not much in the way of changes for us. Stick to what you're doing with your tracking and keeping up that moderate exercise that we talked about last week. 2 weeks from now, at the start of week 20, that's when we're going to start doing the food tweaks. And I'm going to start out with sodium. I've already started a little bit trying to cut back. I haven't really been paying attention, like tracking it on my FitnessPal, things like that. I'm going to start looking at finding some way to have it alert me when I'm getting close to my daily goal. Again, I mentioned this last week as well. I don't think it's wise to go day by day at this point. Baby steps once more. So I'm going to go month by month. And starting on that week 20, then every 4 weeks, I'm going to tally up my numbers, and I need to make sure I'm below that. And then maybe go, sort of add in other things and then go week by week. That might be a good way to start. So that week 20, I start. Week 24, then I've done a full month. Then I start tracking that week by week, but I add in fat for that full month to make sure I'm under it. And then I do that week to week. And then I move to sugar and things like that. Then we'll do protein, and we will do carbohydrates and fiber. I forgot. We're going to add that fiber one in there as well, sort of as the 6th thing. So 3 bad, get rid of those first. 3 good, add those in there. Or we could do the other way around. No, I've already made up my mind. I got to get rid of the bad stuff first, because as far as getting the rest of the food in there, we're going to be fine in the long run. So no real major changes this week for you guys either. Just keep doing what you're doing. If you're doing something that you can measure accurately, and you feel that you're getting sort of accustomed to that, then certainly add a little bit more in there. Add another 5 minutes to it, or increase, if you're doing weights, increase that, increase your speed, or whatever it is that you're doing. Sorry. If you feel that it's something that you're getting accustomed to and you want to do that, but don't go overboard. Because where we sort of made that change last week, didn't really, yes, anyway, you know what I mean. It's not something that you really need to do at this point. You're going to be a much better judge than I ever am as to when you think that you're ready. And once you get to that point where you're done your exercise and you're not really even breaking a sweat anymore, then you know it's time, okay, I'm doing something right. I've gotten used to this. Now it's time to take that next step and go from there. And do tiny little increments, every single week. Or every 2 weeks, I guess, is the best way to probably do it. Because as we've been going through this, and I know I keep doing this every week, but go back. Take a look at when you first started from 120 days ago and go right up and, you don't have to rewatch everything, but go in through your own, not just the numbers of your weight, but look at where you were, what you were eating 120 days ago compared to what you're eating now. And, the amount of fruits and vegetables that you've added in there, the amount of water that you've added in there, the little things that you're looking back going, I barely eat that anymore. And, the activity that you've been doing and how much you've burned. That would be something actually that you could do at this point. Go back, because you've been tracking it, I hope. You've been tracking all the calories that you've been burning. And add them all up. For these past 120 days, look at the number of calories that you've burned. Maybe look at your first week of tracking, and maybe that's what I'll do for next week. I'll do that. I'll get all my numbers ready and stuff like that. Look at how many calories I've been tracking, what I ate during my first week, what my normal caloric intake would have been compared to what I've been doing now, and see if I can measure out how many calories that I've not eaten in comparison to that. So how many calories I normally would have eaten in the past 120 days. Which is going to be quite a bit, because even just doing rough math, I've lost a little over 25 pounds at this point. I think, yeah, around 25, a little bit more. So I think it's 3,500 calories per pound. So multiply that by 25. That's quite a few calories. That's 70,000, and then another half, 35, 12, 50, and yes, so 71,000 calories, 71,250 calories. No, that math isn't right. That math isn't right. I know it's not. Oh wait, 3,500 times 10 would be 30. Okay, divide that, so 35,000. Divide that by half is 12,000. That's 82,500 calories that I haven't eaten. That's a lot. Good God. That is quite a bit. So yeah, well, that math was easy. Good enough. I don't need to do that for this week. You have my numbers. Enjoy. I don't know how many calories I've actually burned off, but it's probably, well, roughly 700 to 800 calories 3 times a week, times however long we've been doing the treadmill, even just 10 weeks, I'll say. So there's roughly 2,500, we'll say. No, that's a little too much. We'll say 2,000 times 10, so 20,000 calories. Well, I burned off about 20,000 calories. So almost, well, no 10, because that would be 35,000. That's quite a few. Yeah, so probably roughly 5 to 6 pounds of the weight I've lost is strictly because of the exercise. So that's not bad. So the majority of it has been just the little food changes that we've been making, and then the rest is the exercise. Which is good. Which they do say, there are numbers, there are some people that say, it's 80% of what you eat and 20% of what you do, things like that. So this is turning into a big math thing. So yeah, anyway, those are the numbers. I don't need to do that for this week now. Neat. But so if you want, go back, and even if you just take a sort of a rough look at it that way and just do the quick math in your head, if mine is correct. I don't know if it is. I'm probably going to see this later on and go, no, you're wrong. The math is wrong. But go back, and even just to compare how things are now compared to how they are when you first started, looking at the amount of calories that you're burning on a weekly basis compared to the amount of calories that you were gaining when you first started this. Because for the vast majority of us, myself included, before I started this, just on how I was eating and not doing anything, it was a steady gain. So usually it's to a point when people go, this is the heaviest I've ever been, I need to make a change. And I was in there with you. So we have made some progress, and it's going to keep on going. We've got another 8 months to go and a ton of work to do. But again, we've sort of hit the hardest part. Now it's just sort of maintaining and making even smaller tweaks here and there. So salt will be the next one in 2 weeks. We'll see how that goes. Or sodium, I should say. Salt is a little restrictive. So, but we'll go from there. But this week I'll show you, we'll add a new YouTuber in there. I've got that weird vegetable to show you as well, which is going to be interesting. I still haven't looked that up to find out what it is, but I'll have to do that by Wednesday. And a number of other things that we have planned. Very fancy things. Fun. But in the meantime, that's it for this one. I have gone, 20 minutes. not too bad. We're roughly around 20-minute mark. I'm okay with 20. 15 is okay. 20 is okay. 25 is iffy. Half an hour, too fucking long for everybody. So, we're going to end this video here. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please poke the like button for me. And in the meantime, keep yourself warm and fuzzy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.